Welcome to the MNova tutorial. This first part will tell you some basics about how to set up your MNova program and how to load files into MNova. When you collect NMR data, the instrument typically puts all the data into one folder, and then within that folder are separate folders for the different NMR experiments that you ran. So for example, if you have a carbon experiment, COSY, HMBC, HSQC, and proton, it puts all in a separate folder. The .fid file ending is a typical NMR file ending. We're going to look at a proton spectrum today, so you can take the whole folder and drag it into MNova, and then MNova will open the spectrum for you. So you can see that MNova has already done some basic processing in order for you to be able to see your data. The first time you use MNova, you want to make sure that you set some defaults. So when you open your program, it probably doesn't look exactly like mine. What you'll do is you'll click on your spectrum, then right-click on it and select Properties. In here you can change a few things. You'll want to get rid of the grid. So anytime we make figures for publication, it's really important that we have a white background because it's much easier to see and more visually pleasing. In this case, you will unclick horizontal and vertical grid. Then we're going to change the font size. The default font is quite small, so the problem is that when you save your spectrum and want to put it into a paper, you typically have to shrink it. Then when you shrink it, the font gets really small. So you'll change font. Arial 12 is a pretty good default, so you'll change it to that. Press OK. For peaks, we also are going to change the font to Arial 12. And then for integrals, we'll go to Font, Arial, select Font, change it to Arial 12. The last one we'll do is for multiplets. Again, select Font, change it to Arial 12. You want to make sure that it keeps these defaults every time you open MNova, so you don't have to keep doing this. So you'll press Set as Default, Apply, and OK. Now we're ready to look at our spectrum. When you finish processing your spectrum, you'll want to save your data. So you always want to save two files. So we're going to press Save. You want to make sure that you save it as the same file name as your experiment. So this is your notebook number. In this case, I used one of Brianna's. So it's really important that all your files are referenced back to that notebook number. You should save it as an MNova document file, so .mnova. You should always also save a second one that is an image file. So I will go to Save As and select PNG or JPEG or PDF. That's the end of the basic setup video. The next video is how to do some basic processing.